As a lot of you can probably tell by the video's title, I will not be paying any money for Nickelodeon. No matter what they do, I will not be respecting them anymore if they keep pulling this kind of stunt. So, what is hashtag change Nickelodeon, a lot of you might be wondering? Well, it's about changing Nickelodeon. But why am I making this? Well, there's a couple reasons why, but let's get to the big one. Money. Everybody knows SpongeBob SquarePants, right? When SpongeBob first came out in 1999, it was a big, big hit. Everybody loved it. But the ones who loved it the most were the network executives at Nickelodeon. They saw dollar signs as to how much successful SpongeBob could be, and, well, they decided to keep it going. Of course, the show was supposed to end after the first SpongeBob movie, but because of all the money it was making, Nickelodeon decided, let's just keep the show going on for much longer. Steven Hillenburg, the show's creator, was against the idea because he specifically told them that the film was supposed to be the end of the show. But the executives are like, no it's not. You're not allowed to say your show is canceled. It's ours now. We can do whatever we want. Get out of here. So Steven Hillenburg was like, okay, fine, do whatever you want, but I'm going to warn you, if this jumps the shark, you have yourselves to blame. Exaggerations, sure, but that's pretty much what Nickelodeon has been like. Basically since the very beginning when they did stuff like Rugrats or Ren and Stimpy. But back when they started, they weren't that bad. Now, though, this is not a good sign for Nickelodeon. So what's the point of this exactly? Well, basically, as we all know, Nickelodeon has a horrible, horrible treatment when it comes to their shows. And it's not just the Nicktoons either. Some of the live-action shows they have also gotten this kind of treatment. Like iCarly, Victorious, even Sam and Cat. And it's really clear that Nickelodeon has never learned, and I don't think they're ever going to learn at all. See, the problem is, when you make a business, no matter what kind of business it is true that you have to make money to help a business grow. However, relying on money of one property, that's not really going to help the business grow, at least for the consumer's standpoint. There's a fine line between what makes something special and what makes something popular. And Nickelodeon tends to only focus on what'll make it popular. And since SpongeBob has a recognizable brand name, that's what's going to keep them up because it'll make them more money, especially with those spin-offs they've done. Even though Steven Hillenburg told them no, they just won't listen. And it's not just that either. Some of the creators who made shows for Nickelodeon have spoken out against what they've done. Take, for example, C.H. Greenblatt when he made Harvey Beaks. C.H. Greenblatt himself did not know that Harvey Beaks got canceled until he found out about it from somebody else. You want to know what's insulting about that? He made an article on Cartoon Baru talking about how Nickelodeon treated him, and Nickelodeon saw that as an offense and were like, hey, you blurted out our secret. Now that you've blurted out what we've done, get out of here. We don't trust you anymore. That is just completely disrespectful. All C.H. Greenblatt did was speak out against what Nickelodeon did, and they forced him to apologize. But that's not the only time Nickelodeon forced someone to do something. Of course, the biggest one is the Fairly Odd Parents. Fairly Odd Parents got canceled, I'm not kidding here, 5 times. Why is that? Well, apparently the executives at Nickelodeon forced Butch Hartman to add new characters to the show. Things like Poof, Sparky, and Chloe. Now, I myself have never watched all of Fairly Odd Parents. I've seen a little bit of it when I was a kid. But even doing the research for that, it just makes me feel upset. And yeah, a lot of people are not happy with what Butch Hartman has been doing lately. But even still, him getting jerked around like that is unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. And it's not just, big stables that Nickelodeon has done that were big in the past. They're even doing it to some bigger hits right now, like The Loud House or The Casa Grandes. I mean, I really like The Loud House, and I really want to get back into it, but I just can't. I mean, a lot of people are kind of happy that Chris Savino, the creator of The Loud House, had left due to sexual allegations, but that doesn't change the fact that Nickelodeon has decided to screw the show over without his involvement. And I know a lot of you guys are not a lot of you are going to agree with me, but I think Chris Savino should come back. Yes, he got himself in trouble, but I think he deserves to come back. It's not the same without him. I mean, yeah, The Loud House had a lot of bad issues, especially when it started, but at least Chris Savino knew what to do when fans pointed some stuff out. But even then, it's just not right. Maybe season 6 of The Loud House will be an improvement, but I don't really know. Oh, that reminds me. A lot of you might have noticed there's that live-action Loud House Christmas special. You want to know why it's being made? It's because of money. Why do they make the Casa Grandes? It's because of money. Why do they make Camp Coral? It's money. That's all Nickelodeon has done. Money, money, money. I mean, yeah, Nickelodeon, you know, they can do lessons like, say, you know, don't be selfish. And actually, that reminds me, let's look at the Loud House movie for a second. Spoiler alert, for those of you who have not seen the Loud House movie, there's a scene at the end where Lincoln apologizes that he was being selfish because he wanted to be special like his sisters, and he realized he was only thinking about himself. It's ironic how that movie teaches the lesson of not being selfish when Nickelodeon themselves have not learned that lesson. It's really telling that Nickelodeon doesn't really care about any stuff that they have. As Trevor Litke from Media Mementos said in episode 1 of the Media Mementos Extracast, and especially in Nicktoons vs. the Network, there's only 2 ways a show made by Nickelodeon can get screwed over. Either it'll get killed right away with no chance of survival, or it goes on for far too long with everything that made it great in the first place get completely sucked out of it. One or the other. There's no in between. You either die or you get milked drier, and that's it. There's no in between. And I completely agree with that. I mean, there are a lot of shows that Nickelodeon has unceremoniously screwed over without caring about. Again, here are some other cartoons they screwed over. Making Fiends. Making Fiends, of course, was supposed to go on, well, Nickelodeon. But then at the last minute, Nickelodeon decided to ship it over to Nicktoons Network instead. What else was there? Oh, My Life as a Teenage Robot. That show also got screwed over because season 2 had been, you know, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen My Life as a Teenage Robot, but even I have to admit that was horrible treatment. Let's see. And then, of course, here's Invader Zim. Invader Zim was, of course, expensive to make, but, of course, Nickelodeon noticed that parents were complaining that the show was getting a bigger audience instead of just kids. And then there's Jimmy Neutron. You see, with Jimmy Neutron, of course, Nickelodeon decided to air the series finale in the middle of the season instead of right towards the end. You see where I'm getting at, right? Nickelodeon has a horrible reputation of treating people unfairly, milking stuff over just for the sake of money, and they don't really care. And that's why I'm encouraging you guys to say hashtag change Nickelodeon. I know this video wasn't really that great, and I do apologize, but again, please, I encourage you all to do hashtag change Nickelodeon. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering, if you guys want to find more research as to what Nickelodeon has done to their shows, head on over to tvtropes.org and look for the Screwed by the Network page. There you will see Nickelodeon being listed, and it will have a lot to say about it. Or, to make things quicker for you guys, the link to that will be in the description below. Again, I encourage you guys to hashtag change Nickelodeon And Nickelodeon, if you guys are watching this, and I doubt that you are, shape up. You have to shape up. SpongeBob is not going to be around forever. You have to let it go. Thank you so much for watching, everybody.